Imagine you are walking through a dense ancient forest at midnight. You know, with mathematical certainty, that the woods are teeming with life. There are owls watching from the canopy, insects scurrying beneath the leaf litter, and predators prowling the shadows. Yet as you stop and hold your breath, you hear nothing. No rustle, no hoot, no snap of a twig. This is the Fermi Paradox, and it is the most haunting silence in the history of science. The universe is approximately 13.8 billion years old. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, contains at least 100 billion stars. Recent data suggests that nearly every one of those stars hosts at least one planet. If life were a common byproduct of cosmic chemistry, a simple result of water, organic molecules and time, then the sky should be screaming with the radio signals of a million civilizations. We should see megastructures blotting out the light of distant suns. We should see the exhaust trails of fusion engines crisscrossing the void. But we don't. We see a graveyard of cold stone and burning gas. Tonight, we aren't just asking where the aliens are. We're asking something much more uncomfortable. Is the silence a sign of their absence? Or is it a warning? Does the lack of contact mean we are the first, the last, or are we simply the only ones left alive to wonder why the forest is so quiet? To understand the weight of this silence, we have to look at the scale of our surroundings. This isn't a needle in a haystack, it's a needle in an ocean of haystacks. Let's talk about the Drake equation. It's a probabilistic argument used to estimate the number of active, communicative, extraterrestrial civilizations in the Milky Way. When Frank Drake first penned it in 1961, he wasn't looking for a definitive number. He was trying to organize our ignorance. The equation factors in the rate of star formation, the fraction of those stars with planets, and the subset of those planets that could support life. But the variables get darker as you move down the line. What fraction of life-bearing planets develop intelligence? What fraction of those develop technology that releases detectable signs? And finally, the most terrifying variable of all, L, the length of time such a civilization survives before it vanishes. If the universe is a stage and human history is a play, we have only been on stage for the last few seconds of the final act. To visualize this, let's compress the 13.8 billion years of the universe into a single calendar year. In this cosmic calendar, the Big Bang happens at midnight on January 1st. The Milky Way forms in March. Our sun isn't born until late August. Life on Earth begins in late September. But human history, all of it, the pyramids, the world wars, the internet, your first crush, happens in the final seconds of December 31st. If a civilization existed on the other side of the galaxy and lasted for 100,000 years, an eternity in human terms, it would occupy less than 4 minutes on this calendar. For us to hear them, their 4 minutes must overlap perfectly with our final few seconds. We are like two fireflies blinking once in a vast dark field, miles apart, hoping to see each other's glow before we fade forever. But physics itself conspires against us. The universe is governed by a cosmic speed limit, c. The speed of light, which is approximately 299,792,458 meters per second. Even at this blistering speed, a radio signal from the center of our galaxy takes 26,000 years to reach us. If an alien civilization sent us a hello when the first human cities were being built, we wouldn't receive it for another 20,000 years. By the time their greeting arrives, their sun might have gone nova, their atmosphere might have stripped away, and their entire species might be nothing but dust and echoes. We are not just separated by the terrifying reaches of space, but by the even more profound gulfs of time. We are shouting into a canyon so deep that the echo won't return until we are no longer there to hear it. Then there is the concept of the Great Filter. This is the idea that at some point in the journey from a single-cell organism to a multiplanetary empire there is a wall, a barrier so difficult to climb that almost no one makes it over. Is the filter behind us? Perhaps the leap from simple cells to complex eukaryotes is so statistically improbable that it only happened once. If so, we are the winners of a cosmic lottery. But if the filter is ahead of us, if the wall is the discovery of nuclear power, or the creation of artificial intelligence, or the exhaustion of planetary resources, then the silence of the stars isn't because life is rare, it's because life is a self-extinguishing flame. We don't see them because they didn't make it. And neither will we. This brings us to the twist. Why does this silence bother us so deeply? Why are we so desperate to find a them? As humans, our brains are biologically hardwired for pattern recognition and social connection. For 300,000 years, the sound of silence in the wild meant a predator was near. Silence meant danger. We are evolved to find meaning in the noise, to see faces in the clouds and intent in the lightning. When we look at the stars and see only cold, in different physics, it triggers a deep-seated evolutionary dread. This is cosmic narcissism. We want the universe to be about us. We want it to be populated with friends or even enemies. Anyone, as long as we aren't alone. But what if the reason we haven't heard from anyone is far more sinister? What if the silence isn't an accident but a survival strategy? In the dark forest theory, the universe is described as a woods filled with armed hunters. Every civilization is a hunter, we stalking through the trees. Because of the vast distances and the impossibility of knowing an alien's true intentions, any civilization you encounter is a potential threat. If you reveal your location, you risk total annihilation. Therefore, the only logical way to survive is to stay silent, to hide. Under this lens, our radio broadcasts, the television signals, the radar pings, the Voyager golden records, aren't a bridge to the stars. They're a flare gun fired in a graveyard. We are the toddlers in the basement screaming, "Is anyone there?" while the adults stay quiet, terrified of what might be listening. This taps into a concept in neuroscience known as the theory of mind. We struggle to imagine an intelligence that doesn't think like us. We assume aliens would want to explore, to communicate, and to grow, but those are biological imperatives sculpted by Earth's specific evolutionary pressures. An alien intelligence might not have a self at all. It might be a hive mind, a biological machine, or something so vastly different that our attempts to communicate with radio waves are as meaningless to them as a dog barking at a Wi-Fi signal. Think about the ants on a sidewalk. If we were building a 10-lane highway next to an anthill, would we stop to explain it to them? Would the ants even realize a highway was being built? To the ants, we aren't aliens. We are just a force of nature, indifferent, incomprehensible, and deadly. Perhaps the reason for the great silence is that we're simply too insignificant to be noticed. We are looking for a handshake, but the universe is busy moving mountains. This realization leads to a specific kind of vertigo, existential indifference. It's the fear that we aren't the protagonists of the story. We are just a chemical scum on a minor planet, orbiting a boring star, in a remote corner of a galaxy that is one of trillions. Our brains are not designed to process this, or our biology demands that we feel important. Our neurotransmitters reward us for social status and legacy. But the cosmos offers no status. It offers no legacy. It offers only 13 billion years of before you and an eternity of after you. The silence is a mirror. When we ask, where are they? We are really asking, who are we? If we are alone, then we carry the entire burden of consciousness for the universe. We are the only eyes the cosmos has to see itself. We are the only mind it has to know itself, and that is far more terrifying than any alien invasion. If we fail, if we succumb to our own great filter, then the light of reason goes out in this sector of the galaxy forever. The universe returns to being a beautiful grand machine that no one is watching. So why haven't they contacted us? Maybe we are the first to reach this stage of development, the firstborn of the galaxy, destined to find a universe of empty rooms. Maybe we are the last survivors of a forgotten era of life. Or maybe they are watching us right now, waiting for us to prove we can survive our own shadows before they invite us to the table. Or perhaps the most unsettling answer of all, they have contacted us and we simply didn't know how to listen. We are tuned to a specific frequency, looking for a specific kind of signal, driven by a human-centric ego. Meanwhile, the truth of the universe might be written in a language we haven't even begun to conceive. What do you think? Is the silence a sign that we are special, or a sign that we are doomed? If you had a button that would instantly alert the entire galaxy to our existence, would you press it? Or would you keep the lights low and stay quiet in the dark? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's grapple with the void together. If this journey into the great silence gave you a sense of awe, or a shiver down your spine, hit the like button and subscribe. We explore the intersection of the infinite and the intimate. Because in a universe this big, The only thing more mysterious than the stars is the mind trying to understand them. I am 10-Minute Cosmos. Follow for more and keep looking up. The silence might not last forever,